welcome to 18 Eden Avenue in concert. Please take note of your nearest emergency exit, and in the unlikely event of an emergency, please follow the instructions of the friendly Civic Theatre staff. Please note that photography and video is allowed this evening, but be respectful of those around you and ensure your flash is turned off. At the end of an avenue, behind an overgrown garden, stands a run-down historic house, home to 3 generations of women, Honoria, Sophie and Poppy.
Better than you do yourself.
Josie, is that you? Could you take my dance class this morning? Oh no, pipes burst in the bathroom again. There's water everywhere. What? No. Oh, thank God. I thought I'd have 12 prima ballerinas twiddling their fingers or their toes.
Alice, do you want to come over to work on that history project after school? What? No, to my house.
My grandfather built this house, and the day he finished, he walked into the living room and sat down. And died.
Is that Bill's plumbing?
Yes, my house. The big old white place. What do you mean haunted?
And then my husband, just after our daughter was born, he walked out onto the landing and had a massive stroke and fell down the stairs. Dead.
Yes, the big house at the end of the avenue again. Oh no, a different bathroom and a different pipe this time.
It was about then that I began to think, this house doesn't really like men.
Looks haunted. It probably does.
It is haunted actually, by my grandmother.
Haunted by my mother, probably.
No, she is very much alive. I'll give you the address.
And you got the address?
And the address? 18 Eden Avenue, where once a garden grew. Now the climbing vines tendrils intertwine, and leaves block out the view of 18 Eden Avenue. Eden Avenue, the only home I knew, where my daughter played as the house decayed, but wished it could as you. Our 18 Eden Avenue, Eden Avenue, wish and dreams come true. It's a magic place with a warm embrace. It can change you. Wait and see. Look and find the key to 18 Eden Avenue. When a house becomes a home, it will never leave your heart. For no matter where you go, you are never far apart. It stands there waiting, beckoning you home once more. When a house becomes a home, love is waiting at the door.
18 Eden Avenue. For 15 years I knew. Time moved on and I stay on. Funny the things you do. At 18 Eden Avenue.
Eden Avenue, just what comes over you? Why can't you wait to push that gate? Why is every day brand new? here I've scored a room and board, a place for breaking through. Who knows what I'll do at 18 Eden Avenue, when a house becomes a home. When a house becomes a home, it will never leave your heart. It will never leave your heart. For no matter where you roam, for no matter where you roam, you will never fall apart. It stands there waiting, beckoning you home once more. When a house becomes a home, love is waiting at the door. Love is waiting at the door. Love is waiting at the door.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to 18 Eden Avenue in concert. Now, before we move on, did anyone come and see 18 Eden Avenue, the play, a couple of years ago at Rib House? Yeah! Nice, well that's good. This is slightly different to what you would have seen a couple of years ago. My name is Waddell. We had the pleasure of playing Arthur in the original production. We've got a few OG cast members back with us tonight. The lovely Liv Cochrane, who was Sophie, of course. Julie Smith, who played Honoria. And Meadow Bodkin-Allen, of course, who was Poppy. We've roped in a couple of extras to help us through tonight. This is the amazing Ben, who's come down to visit us from Dunedin. Ben Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. And down the end, a very talented young man, Sam McGregor, who'll be singing Simon for us tonight.
Now, as Craig alluded, tonight is a wee bit different. We are performing the songs from the musical for you with our fabulous 8-piece band. Now, we will introduce you to the amazing musicians throughout the evening, but tonight is mainly about the music, so we won't be reading the dialogue. But for those who didn't come, so give us an indication if you weren't at the show last year.
Don't put your hands up because we can't see you.
Just go, yeah, me. Yeah, okay. Well, we've got you. Okay, throughout the evening, we will fill you in on what is happening as we move along.
Now, those of you who did see the show, you'll know it had that amazing set in the play. Now, the only surviving piece is the door. The door of 18 Eden Avenue. That is all that is remaining from that amazing set, so it's cool to have that back with us tonight. So, a quick history lesson on 18 Eden Avenue and how it came about. It has taken a while. It's been a work in a long process. The show was written by a couple of Southlanders, Roger Gimblett and, of course, Sally Bodkin-Allen. Now, Sally is here, of course, with us tonight. Roger is a Southland born and bred lad, but he now lives in Australia. So we thought what we might do, because he has fear of missing out tonight, folks, we might do a quick selfie with us and the band and then with you guys, so that we can send it to Roger so he knows what he's missing out. So if we could have the house lights up, please, Ash, just for a wee moment. So Meadow, because, you know, the young ones know how to work the technology better than we do. Meadow's going to take the photo. We'll do one with the band first, and then you guys are going to stand up and give us the photo as well. Go down there. Right. Here with us. Right, smile, man.
You guys can see if we got them in.
Hope so.
Oh, yeah.
Right, now you guys, stand up. Come on, stand up. Get these silly, strike the pose. You didn't know tonight was going to be so interactive, did you? Right, so we'll send it through to Roger, because he does have a great fear of missing out at the moment. So they started on this process around 30 years ago. Roger with the script and the lyrics, Sally with the music, and they then, you know, life got in the way. Things got busy for Sally and Roger, so they didn't get much further with it for quite some time.
So about 5 years ago, they got together and thought, well, maybe they should finish this off. But it was about then that they realised that the show was about a girl who lived with her mother in a rundown kind of a house, and she didn't know who her father was. And they connected the dots and realised that there was a musical about a girl who lived with her mother in a rundown hotel on a Greek island. She didn't know who her father was. Sound familiar?
So you heard it here first, folks. Roger and Sally from Invercargill wrote Mamma Mia before the other guys wrote it. Wow! So there needed to be some changes, which was fine. Now this is probably the point to let you know that if you are aiming to see 18 Eden Avenue and you haven't seen it yet, to earmuffs, because we will have some spoiler alerts throughout the evening.
So Honoria, Sophie and Poppy all live at 18 Eden Avenue. Arthur is a boarder and lives there as well, and Simon lives next door. To help out with the finances, Sophie is looking for another boarder, and that's when Gil arrives. Guildford Sterling is from the country. He arrives in the Big Smoke to follow his dream of becoming an actor. Gil is already keeping a bit of a secret. His real name is Eustace Dickey, so you can see why he chose to change it. He has no references to offer to secure the room, but instead offers Sophie one of his reviews from his many starring roles with the Hayloft Players.
Hayloft Players tackle an ambitious production with their production of Hamlet, which opened to a full house last night. The play is noteworthy for some inventive staging and a particularly nice supper, which is laid on by the women's division of the local Federated Farmers Association.
We've all enjoyed suppers like that, haven't we? So Gil secures a room, but young Poppy becomes quite infatuated with Gil. And Poppy wants to know all about Gil's dream of being an actor and what motivates him.
Far too many actors are drawn onto the stage by dreams of fame and glory from a story on a page. Yet simple words on paper aren't the essence of a part. You need to ask a question before you even start. What's my motivation with this dagger in my hand? Is there something in the subtext I should understand? Should I grasp the shiny metal and plunge it in my heart? I die for motivation. Without it, I won't start. What's my motivation? How should I react? Happy, sad, indifferent, shattered, or intact? Is there something that I'm thinking that the words cannot convey? I need my motivation if we have to wait all day. What's my motivation? I shouldn't have to guess. I very rarely think at all, and that's how I impress. Should I take a strange position in a silent, pensive mood? Should I wrap myself in cling wrap and eat cherries in the nude? Is Hamlet indecisive? I can't make up my mind. What's delaying Godot? That ought to be defined. I won't look back in anger unless I know what for. Before I'm Henry Higgins, I'm best by George be sure. That's my motivation. It isn't much to ask. We're on the third director. I'd still take them to task. Did Shakespeare really mean that? Was Oscar truly wild? I would ask Da Vinci why the Mona Lisa smiled. When I'm standing in the spotlight with an Oscar in my hand, the greatest method actor in this or any land. When they ask me how I did it, I'll tell them what is true. If you want that adulation, find your motivation. What's my motivation? I only wish I knew.
Now, after Gil has a conversation with Sophie, he becomes quite attracted to her. Now, even though there is a bit of an age, just a couple of years age difference, Gil doesn't seem to find any issue with it. Sophie, however, is not interested and brushes Gil's flirty nature aside. But Gil is convinced the two of them belong together.
my motivation? Is it changing day by day? Is it now a little broader than just a place to stay? Does she know what I am feeling every time that she comes near? I fear my motivation has never been so clear. Does she share what I am feeling? It's very hard to tell. Will she care that she's older, or be bolder and rebel? Does she feel a spark between us? Is it simply in my head? What's her motivation? I think I'll go to bed.
The next song is called When I Dream, and it showcases Honoria, the matriarch of the family. This is Sally's favourite song in the show, and it was inspired by one of the songs from the Lin-Manuel Miranda musical In the Heights. Has anyone heard of that before? Yeah! So I am taking the credit for this one because I watched the movie In the Heights and then said to Mum that the character, the grandmother, needed a song to sing.
Honoria is struggling with the changes in her life as she grows older, becomes a bit more forgetful, a bit more dependent on others. But when she dreams, she's young. The song is When I Dream. When I dream, I'm still young, and in all my dreams I'm dancing on a stage through a wall, all my yesterdays once more, and I hear 1,000 voices I can never hear again, and I contemplate my choices and I contemplate the men. They are young and they're dancing, and to think I lived it all. When I dream, I remember all the things I don't recall. When I dream, I am young in a slideshow of adventure, chasing hopes, making plans. Was that really me? And I know a clock is ticking and will slowly run right out. If I come to leave you, let me leave you in no doubt. There'll be dreams, there'll be dancing, and love above it all. When you dream, please remember all the things you don't recall. When you dream, please remember all the things you don't recall.
Hi, I'm Sam and I'm singing the role of Simon, the teenage boy who lives next door to 18 Avenue. Simon is a bit of a loner, his parents aren't around much, and so he spends a lot of time hanging out in the greenhouse with Arthur, helping him with the plants.
Technically, Simon is supposed to help out by mowing the lawns, but he spends more time fixing the lawnmower than actually mowing the lawn.
Now, you might, this might be a good time to explain to you why we're all sitting here in different chairs. We decided that we would pick a chair that represents our character from the show.
I have a director's chair for obvious reasons.
I have a very elegant chair, which sometimes goes along with my sometimes elegant self. But Sam's supposed to be here on a ride-on lawnmower.
But I didn't think my dad would be too keen to have to bring the ride-on lawnmower along to the theatre tonight. So that idea was scrapped.
And Arthur, of course, he's most happy in his greenhouse with his plants and all that sort of thing, so that's why I've got like a outdoor garden set.
Sophie spends most of her time ignoring that she needs to fix herself and is trying to fix everyone and everything at 18 Eden Avenue, and so her chair is a stepladder.
And my chair represents what I would imagine Poppy would have in her bedroom by her desk. I would also like to take this moment to acknowledge the colour that I'm wearing. So obviously my character is called Poppy, but the idea behind our characters in the original show was from our original director Jason Fraser, and he told us to sort of wear the colour scheme with it, which was really beautiful, as you can see in the photos in the programme. That's why Liv has got a wee bit of green, and I'm hoping that Craig did this on purpose with his brown.
Brown.
We'll say it, yeah, we'll say it's on purpose. But yeah, so the next song, Someone in the Greenhouse, is sung by Poppy and Simon about Arthur, a father figure to both of them. Poppy is sitting in her room playing her ukulele and putting her love for Arthur into the song.
Once there was a girl, I knew her well, safe in her crystal palace young, free in her sunlit world of terracotta pots. Thought she knew lots
if you didn't see the show, you may be thinking, where is the father of Poppy? What is his story? Well, Poppy thinks that her dad is a French dancer. But he isn't. More secrets being kept at 18 Eden Avenue. Again, if you don't want spoilers, earmuffs. Poppy's father is actually Arthur. Dun, dun, dun. Now, it was a drunken one-night stand after a dance class that both Sophie and Arthur attended together. Arthur sort of hid in plain sight, was a bit scared of his mum and didn't want to admit to her that he had done what he'd done. But he stuck around at 18 Eden Avenue and supported everybody, but just never told Poppy, and that was the agreement that they had. Well, Arthur feels that now it's time to tell Poppy the truth, and Sophie has some pretty harsh words for Arthur on that idea. This is her father. Face the fact, Daddy dear, the ship has sailed and you weren't there. You can't relive a lifetime on a wish and a whim. Sad to say, Daddy dear, there's someone sitting in your chair. You can't compete and ought to meet her father. He's in the Foreign Legion or with the CIA. I can't recall the region, but somewhere far away. I shouldn't think he'll stop by in transit to Peru. He's mysterious, exotic, and best of all, not true, and best of all, not you. Take the hint, Daddy dear, it's too late to volunteer. You can't rewrite your choices on a wish and a whim. Yes, it's cruel, Daddy dear, but even worse to persevere. You can't relive a lifetime on a wish and a whim. He doesn't wear a brown suit in an office every day. He doesn't do the crossword or have dinner on a tray. He doesn't have a bald spot that he covers with his hair. He's adventurous, exciting, and best of all, not here, and best of all, not true, and best of all, not you, and best of all, not you.
So the plot thickens and all sorts of drama is unfolding. This leads us to the Act 1 finale, a classic piece of musical theatre. Think One Day More from Les Mis, or We Don't Talk About Bruno from Encanto. Each character has their own theme, which is sung separately before being sung simultaneously and all together.
Poppy starts the song and she is singing about her crush on Gil and how she hopes he will notice her.
And Simon is thinking about his crush on Poppy and how he hopes she will notice him.
And Gil is singing about his crush on Sophie and how he hopes she will notice him.
Apparently Honoria is too old to have a crush on anyone. So she's just singing about springs passing and time going on, seasons changing, blah blah.
And Arthur and Sophie are just singing about the upcoming. Arthur wants to tell, of course, Poppy that he's her father, and well, it all's going to happen in summer after her 16th birthday.
But this is the number that always made our first ever director, Jason Fraser, cry. Now, Jason, where are you sitting tonight, friend? Where? Oh, there. Excellent. So the people either side, have you got long sleeves? If you could just for them, that'd be great. Thank you very, very much. This is When Winter Turns to Summer.
We're now going to have a short 10-minute interval. Thank you, folks.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you made full advantage, or took full advantage of the bar. Nice, excellent. Well, before we kick into the second act, we would like to introduce you to this amazing group of humans and musicians behind us. Now, when we performed 18 Eden Avenue at Repertory, we performed to very well produced backing tracks. But it was always the dream to be able to perform with live musicians, and tonight we get to fulfill that dream.
Let's make some noise and thank on keys Marcus Crowe. On guitar, Lachlan Hickford.
Bringing it up on bass, it's Devin Ledington. Keeping us all in time on the drums, it's Davi Amorim.
Amazing string section, violin, Ewan Adam. Beautiful Chloë Litchfield. The fabulous cellist, Rose Colleen.
And last but not least, on the clarinet, the tenor sax and the alto sax, Emma Jarman.
And And we did have another band member, Emma's little boy Carter, but he's not here tonight. He did put in some BBs though throughout the dress rehearsal. So as you know, 18 Eden Avenue took a very long time to write, and part of the process of putting the musical together included workshopping the script and songs. Back in January 2022, a group of us spent a day trying out the script and singing through the songs. And at the end of that day, we knew the characters worked, and that this was a story that audiences would hopefully fall in love with, and it would make them laugh and cry. But as a cast, we felt it needed another song. So we told Mum to write another one.
As you do. After all, the story was about 3 generations of women, and they needed a song to sing together. So that was the genesis of 3 Strong Women. The song comes at a time in the show when Sophie's struggling. She's lost her job at a holistic wellness shop.
Ironically, the holistic wellness shop staff were always sick. Now, the dance school that Sophie was working at is also closing down. Her mother has just spent the last of their savings on a Nigerian email scam. Yep, and the bank has called to let her know that they're about to forego the mortgage. This is 3 Strong Women.
You used to tell me when I was small, most things don't matter much, and money least of all. Be bold, courageous, and don't conform, for one strong woman can weather any storm.
The things I told you when you were young were just what I've been told, old songs but newly sung and half remembered. They fill the air for 3 strong women and the courage that they share.
Without some heartache, what is life without a scar? All the hurts that have defined us should remind us who we are. What is life without some heartache? What is life without a scar? All the hurts that have defined us should remind us who we are.
Stand and take her by the hand. The wisdom that she shares is only hers to pass down through the years.
Grow, take all the things you know, blossom in the sun. You know you've got another race to run. So tell your daughters when they are small, their whole new world awaits, so seize it and stand tall. Be bold, courageous, and don't conform, for 3 strong women can weather any storm.
Be strong,
No, don't
courageous,
conform,
yes,
no, don't conform. 3 strong women, 3 strong women can weather any storm.
As the story and drama at 18 Eden Avenue continues, Sophie is worried about money and Poppy finding out that Arthur is her father.
Arthur is worried about what Poppy will think of Arthur being her father, and is feeling bored at work and just secretly wants to quit and follow his dream job.
And Gil just wants to spend time with Sophie and wants to be an acting success. The two men sit down with a few drinks and drown their sorrows with At Least You Tried, affectionately known as the Drunken Duet. How do you know if your life is a failure?
Is it more than a wilting azalea?
Should you just give it up and move to Australia? Then a voice replied, at least you tried. A voice replied, at least you tried.
How do you know why you're never promoted?
When you act, have you ever emoted?
And why are your views always outvoted?
What you know inside, at least you tried. You know inside, at least you tried. And you know that love has its dangers. Best to keep to stocks and hydrangeas. I'm left to rely on the kindness of strangers. Have some pride, at least you tried. They say a knock builds character. Well, that makes a lot of sense. But all I get is knocking, so my character's immense. And when they pass you over for someone hip and zen, you'll find it very trying, but you'll have to try again.
How do you know if you're stuck or reversing?
And are you living or only rehearsing?
What's the point of pouting or swearing or cursing?
At least you tried. How do you know if your act's lost its sparkle?
Less of Kate and more Meghan Markle.
Is your life just the biggest debacle? Have some pride, at least you tried. So stand up for those who are guileless and nameless. They're done in by the gutless and shameless. On our tombs they will write we were blameless. Here they lie and they'll still try.
Singing Down the Rain is one of the few songs that was written 30 years ago. If you've listened to the recordings on Spotify, you'll notice a few differences between the original song and tonight's version. There's a little bit of magic. You'll know it when you hear it.
It is the evening of Poppy's 16th birthday, and Simon has got a bit drunk at her birthday party. Hope there's no method acting going on here.
No. Yes, Simon has some Dutch courage and finally tells Poppy how he really feels. Who says we can't be lovers or even just good friends? I've heard a date is much more fun if more than one attends. It's not that I'm impatient, but I think it should be said. I may be less attractive when I'm 92 or dead. I'd like to have an answer. I'd write it in the air. The world will stop and listen to this magic that we share. I'll be singing down the rain, and I'll be shining through the sky on a misty sunlit staircase with a rainbow in my eye. The Prince of
drink too many, and it's far too late at night. So anything I say to you, I'd advise you to forget. You live next door and nothing more, or so I thought, and yet if I should share your vision in any small respect, it's that I'd fall in love with someone with that magical effect of singing down the rain and shining through the sky on a misty sunlit staircase with a rainbow in his eye. The prince of could well be, who can not recall the past. I expect this will happen when we fall in love at last.
I'll be singing
I'll
down the
be
rain.
singing down the rain, shining through the sky on a misty
Sunlit staircase with the rainbow in my eye.
The prince of could well be, who can
Can't recall the past.
I expect this will happen.
No, I know this will happen.
Could it be that it just happened? Did we fall in love at last?
And so, with impeccable timing, Arthur interrupts the young couple just as they're about to kiss. Well, I could wait a bit longer if you prefer. Arthur wants to talk with Poppy and tell her that he is, in fact, her real father. But during the chat, and before Arthur can tell her, Poppy says that it doesn't matter that she doesn't know who her father is because Arthur has always been there for her and is like a father figure to her. So Arthur decides that maybe telling Poppy at this particular moment in time is not right at the moment. There's a man inside the greenhouse whose life seemed dull and lame. A loner in the greenhouse who never could claim he changed the world or did great things. So it's strange to hear him say that man inside the greenhouse, he just might have done okay. That man inside the greenhouse, he just might have done okay.
Point that Arthur informed Sophie that he didn't tell Poppy who was her dad, at which point Honoria reveals that Poppy worked out the truth years ago. And she already knows that Arthur is her father.
The next day, Arthur tells everyone he has taken early retirement from his boring old post office job and can now follow his dream, touring hospitals and old folks' homes as part of an old-time song and dance troupe. So, every good musical needs a tap number.
Now, when Rodgers suggested to Sally that the show needed a great song and dance number, she thought it was a bit crazy and wasn't convinced. Because where on earth would you find multiple people who knew how to tap dance? Invercargill. So much hidden talent. And so it seemed to come together very naturally and has become one of the most popular moments and songs of 18 Eden Avenue. We present to you, you're just going to see it.
Lady, I've a message to deliver loud and clear. You've been sensational, inspirational. I've been retiring, so uninspiring. Brown suits and pay disputes, all counsel fade from view. Maestro, that's your cue. It's time this birdie flew. The other side of me, I'm gonna set it free. I won't have a care so debonair. The other side of me, the other side of me's been waiting patiently. Could this be my time to shine? Come on, people, chorus line. The other side of me, I'm gonna set it free. Won't have a guess so debonair. The other side of me, the other side of me's been waiting patiently for all those years trapped up the stairs. The other side of me, the other side of me. Thank you very much.
See what I mean? Invercargill, goodness. Now, after this song and dance, Poppy and Simon head off to the school ball. Honoria is off having tea with the Duchess of Kent. We don't really know. Gil has finally got an acting job, which is actually a clown at a children's birthday party. Good work, buddy. And that leaves Sophie and Arthur having to say goodbye.
This is Rodgers' favourite song in the show. It began life as a piece for the piano and then turned into a song for Sophie, and later turned into a song for Sophie and Arthur. It's also one of the original numbers that was composed back in the 90s.
Now, if you were at the world premiere of 18 Eden Avenue, you may notice the song has had a bit of a glow up and has become one of a very beloved versions. This is Somewhere in My Life.
Somewhere in my life, I thought there'd be a place that was yours alone. Somewhere in my life, I thought that
times we spend bloom and they're gone.
We change our world.
We change our world.
We fall apart.
We fall apart.
Years on you find those left behind knew you from the start. Somewhere in my life, I thought there'd be a place that was yours.
The times we spend
I thought that time would stand still. I'd be the one you waited for.
still here by your side.
Somewhere in my life, I thought there'd be a place that was yours alone. Somewhere in my life, I thought that time would stand still. But now it's clear you won't be there this year.
Next year,
Always here, somewhere in my life. This year,
next year,
somewhere in my life.
So we've come to the end of our story. Arthur goes off touring and tapping, but he has left his retirement to pay off his mortgage for Sophie and Poppy. Gil returns to the house where Sophie finally gives in to his charms. Poppy and Simon enjoy the school ball and their newfound love. And Honoria, well, she's just happy and content. When I dream, I am young, and in all my dreams I'm dancing, chasing hopes, making plans. Was that really me? And I know a clock is ticking and will slowly run right out. If I come to leave you, let me leave you in no doubt. There'll be dreams, there'll be dancing, and love above it all. When you dream, please remember all the things you don't recall. When you dream, please remember all the things you don't recall.
I'm really sorry, but we don't actually have any more songs. But we are just going to sing another one for you that we've already done. But this is the Act 1 finale of When Winter Turns to Summer. As it's quite complex, maybe your ears want to hear it again, hopefully.
intoxicating sunsets might make a lover bold. And if he turned to ask her, she wouldn't turn away. That girl would be a woman, and she'd know what to say.
When I say all of the things I could tell her, all of the things she should see, that I see.
When winter turns to
Now I
summer,
know, one day she may want to listen, not only to him, not only him. Hear me, see me.
If I should stay till summer, through springtime's green and gold, things happen in our sunset that cannot be controlled. And if I stood before her, she wouldn't turn away. The girl within the woman, I don't want to say.
cannot ignore the seasons in a conflict and snow. In spring skies, in love sighs, life goes quicker than you know. When winter turns to summer,
If I should stay till summer,
cannot ignore the seasons.
Not only to him, not only him.
Endless faithful ebb and flow. As days grow light,
the world is new,
and secrets mine.
secrets burst into
Life goes quicker than you know. And who will stand?
and who will stay?
Cannot ignore the seasons.
One yesterday could make us face
Faithful ebb and flow. When winter starts,
Thank you. Thank you very much. The band are going to play another wee track for you. Thank you for coming along tonight. Now you can go and see the fireworks display very shortly. Yeah.